Welcome to Lecture 2. First of all, I'd like to thank you for taking this journey with me. I'm very excited. I have a lot of great stuff planned for you. This is a really different type of course, and as you go over the next few lectures, you're going to see and understand exactly what makes this course different and stand out. But as you saw on the last lecture, you saw the music video app that you're going to build from scratch, and it's a lot of fun, and you're up for a great ride because you're going to be doing and learning a lot of things, and it's all project. Everything we're doing is project based. We're going to keep adding more and more and more functionality to the music video app until we finally get it done. But I'd like to take this opportunity to talk a little about me. Who am I? Why did I decide to get into computer science, and why am I even teaching this course today? Believe it or not, I have been in information technology now for over 32 years. I started out in around 1983, 84 timeframe. And I'll tell you what my inspiration was. My mentor, the person that really motivated and inspired me. I had a cousin named Gary. And he decided that he wanted to go into school for computer science. I remember in those days it was a specialty type thing. They didn't have a lot of colleges that were teaching computer science like there is today. And he would come over all the time. I would talk to him. We'd have long discussions about what he was doing in school. I looked at his homework and I was just in awe. I mean, like, I knew in 11th grade, a year before I graduated high school, I knew that I wanted to become a computer programmer. And so this cousin inspired and changed my life, and so I decided that's what I wanted to do. And unfortunately, I found this cousin passed away a few years later after I finally graduated and actually started doing it for a living in a tragic plane crash. So I'm dedicating this course to my cousin Gary, who I know he'd be real proud of me right now, and I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for him. So, Gary, I hope I make you proud here. But let me tell you a little bit more about me. When I first started going to school, I learned C and Unix, and not object-oriented, the original C. And I was very fortunate to be able to be part of a co-op program where I went during the summers. I worked full time at a company, and then my last year of college, I worked in the mornings at my job, and then in the afternoon I went to school. And this really gave me a unique perspective because I just didn't sit in a classroom reading textbooks and getting lectures, but I actually applied. I did it. I went to work and I did the job, and then I was able to relate the two, and it was a very unique perspective, and it really changed my life. I was very fortunate enough to be able to have that opportunity. And then about 6 months before I graduated, I was offered a full-time job. So, I was real excited, and I accepted, and for about 5 years, I worked at this company. I did a lot of mainframe technologies, COBOL, DB2, CICS, IMS. This was the stuff that the procedural programming languages. This is the things that we used to do in the early 80s. And then around the kind of the late 1980s into the 1990s, I decided to go into consulting. And this is where I got involved with client-server applications, web-based technologies, data warehousing, architecture design, database design, disaster recovery. I did a little bit about everything, and it was really an exciting time, the 1990s, and then around in the 2000s, when iPhone came out, I realized what a great opportunity iPhone development is. So you remember in my day when I graduated, you had to really be very technical. You had to understand a lot about algorithms, and you had to understand about how things worked. Today, with object-oriented programming, they have these frameworks and these libraries that just make it so easy. You don't really have to have a computer science degree. You don't have to have a very strong technical background. You could teach, anybody who's really wants that has an open mind could learn how to develop apps on an iOS development very easily. And what intrigued me the most was, can you imagine being able to, you sit at home, you can write an app, and you put it in the App Store, and then you have a company that could be a multi-million-dollar company could put an app out there, and if I have a good app, I have just as much chance for them buying my app over theirs, and it just changed everything. And I realized, wow, there's something there. And so I've been playing around with iOS development since the iPhone, even like 6 months even before the App Store even came out. So I decided in 2013 that I was going to leave the corporate world, and I was going to start my own company. And I focus more on it's iOS training and consulting, and so that's sort of my story. I have a computer science degree, a associate's degree in computer science, and a few years ago I also got a bachelor's degree in business administration. So I have a very well-rounded background, and I worked with a lot of technologies. And over the last 3 years, I would say I've been working full time doing iOS development, and decided that I wanted to inspire and to help other people learn iOS development. I think iOS development is an empowering skill, and even if you decide you don't want to be in computer science, just understanding about learning how to program and learning how to do this makes you look at the world differently. And regardless of the field that you go into, you will better yourself wherever you go. And so that's when I decided that I wanted to come up with a course that really would help people, that can inspire. And there really wasn't anything that when I was going through the process, I really didn't see anything that really was that good. I struggled. I worked hard. I took all these courses. I bought books. And and it was and I coming from a very strong technical background, so I was able to pick up and do things a lot quicker. But I realized, I took all my experiences and all the things that I would have liked to have had when I was learning, and I came up with this course, which again, it is very different than any other course. It's very interactive. It never ends. Even when we complete the course will constantly evolve, because every single month I'll be adding more and more videos. I'll be working with my students, working with you about what we do next, and you'll see all that as you go on with the lectures. But so that's sort of a little bit about me, so I'm really excited to have the opportunity to work with you. So I look forward in seeing you on the next lecture.